Pisces, when I tell you it has been a struggle to get your message across, I mean it. Like, I have tried to do your reading several times now, and each time it's like the message is fragmented, something goes awry during the reading. Um, it's just been like a constant fight to get things to come through. But today I'm kind of hoping to work my way through the little narrow window I feel that your message has to come through. Normally I would have already shuffled the cards and laid them out for your reading, but I wanted to kind of involve you in this process because I think this whole experience that I've had trying to do your reading and how much trouble I've had with it is kind of reflective of Saturn being right there in your first house, right there in Pisces, in your face, very oppressive, slow down, ball and chain around you, around your ankle. It's more like it's around your neck, like just this. When I see this in your chart, all I can think about is like what a struggle it must be to be getting out of bed in the morning and to do basic things, to feel good, to feel like you have energy to go about your day to day. Not to say that you're not doing it, but it's probably requiring a lot more effort from you in order to do so. So it's a lot like the struggle that I've had with trying to get your reading through. I have had to find this narrow little window. Got a water sign, Scorpio, rising where I'm at, and Venus approaching the midheaven. So while that's going on, I'm hoping that kind of helps provide a little space within which your message can come through. And we'll see if that works out by the end of this video, if we get there. Because, God knows it's been a task. I'm using the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck for those of you that are curious. Beautiful deck, highly recommend it for any of you that want to incorporate it into your own readings. But let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So for your significator card, we have the Queen of Cups. Like, if that's not the most clear image of your energy, Pisces, I don't know what is. Just being in like a very visionary, dreamy space currently. Obviously I haven't flipped over the rest of the cards, but I feel like what I'm seeing is that you're feeling yourself, but you have the weight of really deep water on top of you. Like it's kind of pressing you down a little bit. Like you're still in tune with your innate senses, your innate capacities. It's not like you've lost access to these things because of how you've been feeling lately or because of the circumstances that you're finding yourself in. It's just, I feel like it's dampened a little bit. It's just like the Queen is standing tall, but she is having to use every muscle in her body to keep herself up. So let's see what's covering you. We have the Seven of Swords reversed, futility. I believe that's the last decan of Aquarius. For you, that's your 12th house. I don't think there's anything currently transiting Aquarius other than Pluto, but that could be relevant. Some sort of transformative loss, or like a deeply profound visionary experience. Maybe even like a near-death experience, or an illness, something really profound, and maybe that's kind of leading into this. I feel like you're in the recovery phase right now with Saturn in that first house of yours. You're just it's like you've gotten over the illness, so to speak, but you're still bedridden because you've atrophied. You haven't been moving around much. And so this is like the process of regaining your strength, of trying to eat the right foods that make you feel good again, of trying to go out and get some sunlight so you can reinvigorate your body with that life-giving energy. But it's still, you're still not at full capacity yet. In this deck, the Seven of Swords is called Futility. It is reversed. So it's like, I feel like although it's requiring a lot of effort for you to do things, it's not wasted. I've been kind of, in some of the other readings, I've been getting messages of like just doing things for the sake of doing them. I don't feel like that's the case for you right now, Pisces. I feel like you're required to be doing maybe not a lot, but circumstances are requiring you to act in some way, and it's serving a purpose, and it's not like you're wasting all the extra effort. So maybe that's like a relevant reminder, like just because it's really hard right now doesn't mean that what you're doing doesn't matter. Like keep pushing through, keep holding on. We have the Five of Discs crossing you. In this deck, it's called Worry. And I think that's the first decan of Leo, which for you is your 6th house. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Wands. This is this is a decan in Taurus. So Taurus for you is your 3rd house, I believe. I don't think you have anything actively transiting Taurus currently. Not a whole lot happening in Scorpio right now either. But this 3rd, 9th house dynamic, maybe kind of toying with new ideas, new spirituality, new religious ideas, new I'm hearing like new philosophers, new authors, new books, new concepts. I don't know, I'm seeing like a lot of like scrolls, whatever that means. And I feel like it's you trying to contextualize your experience in the midst of what's happening right now. Like I feel like you're really trying to understand and not verify, but validate that what you're going through either will end or is going to serve a purpose, because I think you are kind of toying with that idea of futility. Like, what's the point of pushing through all this? Like, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed, I'm so, and you're in so much pain, you know, like this. So it's almost like you're embarking on this exploration of outside ideas, outside interpretations through these so-called scrolls or books or philosophies, religions, that sort of thing. Almost in spite of maybe like a sense of hopelessness. And it is like, it's crossing your reading, so it's almost like, I don't want to say that it's unexpected, but it's almost like there's two parts of you. Like one part of you is in that sort of state of stagnant hopelessness, like just accepting that the weight of the world is crashing down all around you, and the other part of you is like, no, we can do something about this, or no, we can prove to ourselves that, you know, the weight of the world on our shoulders is actually going to create a diamond, and I can lay out all the scientific principles that show the process, like that sort of thinking. At the base of your reading, we have the Empress in reversed. Immediately, that makes me think makes me look to Venus. Venus is nearing the midheaven where I am, when and where I am in time and space currently. But I feel like it's also going to be relevant for you because Venus is the exaltation ruler of Pisces, also one of the triplicity rulers of water signs. If you have a diurnal chart, like a day chart. So currently, I think either tonight, I think today's the 3rd, right? Tonight or tomorrow night, like late for us in America, Mercury is going to be stationing retrograde. Currently transiting through the sign of Virgo, his own sign, it does very well in Virgo. But what I find most interesting about this is that at the same time, like within a day, Venus is going to be ingressing into Virgo from Leo, and entering Mercury's domain. And so I think like this little sort of exchange happening with Mercury stationing in Virgo and then Venus crossing into Virgo at about the same time might have some relevance to you. That's highlighting your 7th house, so partnership. And I am curious to see like what aspect of partnership is relevant here, because it's almost like the base of the reading, I feel like the garden is wilted, the crops failed, the paint is peeling, the roof is caving in, like all these kind of images of like decay and ruin. Like barren creative energy, like there's just no energy for it. And I think it's because the soil is being so compressed right now with Saturn. Like you can't even get anything to break through the surface. Like it just doesn't have the power to withstand the gravity of that. Behind you have the 10 of Swords, called Ruin in this deck. Pretty heavy. That's the last decan of Gemini. Gemini is currently being, activated by Jupiter and Mars' presence. So that might be something to kind of look at in your chart. It's your 4th house. So that kind of like calls back to the image I was getting of like the roof on the house caving in, the paint is peeling, the garden is wilted and dead, and the soil is compacted, and nothing is growing, and maybe the power is out, and the water isn't running. Just this, it's like all these little things just all piling up on top of one another to create this really dysfunctional, disharmonious, stressful environment. And it's affecting not only your self-image, your 1st house, your physical body, but it's also affecting like your most sacred space, your home, like where you feel like you should be able to relax and recharge and enjoy your time. There's all these little things cropping up and piling on top of each other and invading that space. Hopefully with Jupiter being there, it's not just enlarging these things and making them really big and overwhelming and explosive, but I'm hoping that there's an aspect of maybe a deeper understanding that these situations are able to provide you, and deeper understanding of yourself and about your life, so that rather than feeling like you're being attacked, you're feeling like you're being guided through these situations because you have the capacity to deal with them. That's the hope anyway. And maybe that's part of the reason why you're going through these scrolls, you're reading these holy books or these scientific journals, trying to understand and contextualize what's happening so that you can feel less like a victim of the situation and more like a warrior who will endure through it. Crowning your reading, we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. In this deck, it's called Satiety. Yeah. This, to me, feels like you're approaching the end of this. You know, Ten of Cups is the last decan of Pisces. So I'm like, as I saw that, I was thinking of Saturn, you know, entering those last degrees of Pisces and finally making his way out into Aries. There's going to be a lot of other stuff collectively happening around that time. I think that's sometime early next year, 2025, when that cross out happens, when that ingress into Aries happens. I think Saturn might retrograde back into Pisces a few times, but I think that's when you can maybe hope to time things, because I think by then you should have moved out of this space of lack and, I don't want to say posterity, but just this space of emotional fatigue, maybe even physical fatigue, ideological fatigue, you know, everything, just fatigue from every angle. With that card, I also want to say maybe hold on to a vision of better times, whether it's something that you've experienced in the past or if you have no experience with any so-called better time. Maybe holding on to it and, you know, obviously taking your time with deliberating a way for you to create that space again. You know, with Saturn, things are going to have to be done slowly and carefully, methodically. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's. Like, it's going to take a lot of work to get there. But I think having that end goal in mind is what is going to help propel you through, I heard, like, through this black oil pit. This black oil pit at the bottom of the ocean. Before you, we have the Two of Swords. You know, in most other decks, it's like this card is usually associated with things like indecision and obstacles. So it's kind of interesting to me that this deck declares it as peace. You know, it is the first decan of Libra, which I believe is Saturn's decan in one of the schools. But anyway, this trust in knowing that what's going to be coming forward, what's going to be coming through, because this is before you, like this is something that's approaching you. Whatever it is going to kind of help balance the situation out again. Could be that you cross swords with somebody that's coming into your life in one form or another, and this person ends up maybe helping you to carve your way out of this coffin. Like, I don't know why that was what I heard, but like, I feel like you're gonna get help. Maybe it's from an idea, like you're gonna finally find the book that has the sentence that you needed to read. You found the faith, you found the science, you found the doctor, you found something that you can kind of rest your laurels on it. Like you can trust in whatever this is. It's like an olive branch being extended. So maybe something to do with a Libra specifically, or Libran type of ideals. So maybe that can kind of help you narrow down what this could be for you, if it's not necessarily a person. For the energy around you, we have the Three of Swords in reverse, sorrow, and that's the second decan of Libra. I don't know why with this card I'm getting like the image of like one of those spinning rides at a carnival. The ones that kind of tilt. They're like, you're like on a little box on the outside of the spinning circle, and it kind of tilts and goes around and does this thing, and it makes you feel dizzy and it makes you feel nauseous. But for whatever reason, there's like this centrifugal force that I'm perceiving with this card. Like maybe that's part of what this process is doing. Like it's spinning you around really fast so that you can separate the substance by density and refine something. It could be like a literal medical reference too, because I know you get like a vial of blood and you put it in the centrifuge and it spins it and separates the serum from the blood cells. Like maybe that's relevant, but yeah, there's this element of refining and identifying like the root, identifying where this problem is coming from. For the people around you, we have the Two of Wands in reverse in this deck called Dominion. Okay, yeah. This is the first decan of Aries, but like when I put the card down just then, I was hearing incompetence. Like the people around you are incompetent. Like they can't. You have all this going on, and it's like nobody knows what's going on. Nobody understands what a struggle it's been for you, or they don't understand what's going on. They can't find the problem. Yeah, and it's interesting because with this card I was seeing like that circus ride. With this card I'm seeing like a spinning top. And it's not wobbling or anything. It's like spinning perfectly, but it's spinning nonetheless and not landing on anything. It's not like that scene towards the end of Inception where the top is still spinning and you're kind of left with the idea that maybe this is still a dream. Like you're still dreaming, or having a nightmare, like you haven't woken up from it. And where the people around you could act like a sort of anchor to help you root yourself back in physical reality and help you come to some solutions for whatever's been going on. It's like it's not happening. It's a struggle. So maybe that's what this Mercury retrograde, Venus ingress into Virgo, this energy that's kind of in its advent right now as I'm doing this reading, maybe that's what's going to help present you through partnership, through the mirror of other people or of the world. Maybe it's a book, that seventh house. I can totally see it being something like that. And it reflects back to you something about your experience. or something that you needed to hear, something that you needed to know. And it kind of helps unlock the rest of the problem. Like, you've been sitting here with a chest with 3 locks, and you've gotten keys for 2 of the locks. You've gotten those unlocked, but you have this last one in the middle, and it's just nothing. None of the keys that you have are fitting, and you don't know what to do. And then suddenly you open up this book, and there's a key inside of it, and you have it, and you're able to unlock the chest. And inside of the chest is the thing that you needed. It's the medicine you needed, or the clothes, or the food, or the partnership that you needed. Like, it's just a matter of finding the right piece at the right time, the right window, kind of like how it was a struggle for me to get this reading together. Like, it's just a matter of timing. Like, everything is timing. At certain times of day, the sun comes through the window just right to land on just this specific object, and that object is the book with the key in it. But you wouldn't notice it if the sun didn't land on it right at that specific moment in time, and it's only there for like 2 minutes of the day. that kind of energy. Like, everything just has to be so perfect. And that's what makes it also difficult sometimes, right? So for your hopes and fears, we have the 9 of Cups. Happiness. I think that kind of speaks for itself. That's the ideal that I want you to hold on to, where you're able to finally let go of all this weight and relax and taste how wonderful food is. Or have a garden that's flourishing again, a house with a roof that's not broken and leaking, the paint isn't peeling, you got a fresh coat of paint, everything is vibrant and beautiful, and being able to enjoy it and not having any impediment, internal or external, in the way. Hold on to that. And don't be afraid of moments that feel like that as they come, because I'm sure they're being sprinkled throughout this whole journey that you're going through. Don't be afraid to enjoy them while they're there, because I think they're going to help fortify you and give you determination to continue on, to continue forward, because it's not always going to be this heavy bottom of the ocean type of energy. It's just where you are at right now. And when you come out the other end of it, you're going to see that it may have been necessary in some way. How that plays out for you, I can't say, but, kind of hold on to that idea. Hopefully it doesn't make you angry to hear it now, but I think in time, you might be able to look back with a little bit more appreciation. So for the final outcome, we have the moon in reverse. Ooh. Yeah, I'm seeing like a dolphin or like a whale, some sort of really large aquatic mammal, just like racing up from the dark depths where light doesn't even go, up to the surface of the water and breaking free. Like, I'm hearing like the tide has shifted, like you were at the bottom of the ocean and now you're up at the surface and you're able to receive the life-giving light of the sun again. Like, you are like the moon, reflecting and gathering and holding the light of the sun rather than being plunged in darkness. But again, just this idea of everything in its time, everything in cycles, everything in seasons, and some cycles take longer than others, but they're not forever. Everything is constantly moving and changing in this world, and just remember to trust in that, because I feel like through all of this, you might be prone to feeling like nothing is changing, nothing is moving. You're just stuck in this, and the weight is never going to come off. But it will. The wheel is constantly moving, cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles within cycles. Sometimes it's a couple years of a season, but it's not forever. Okay? So remember to appreciate these moments. Hang on to them. Let them guide you forward. And keep an eye out for that key. Whatever form that key takes. Because I feel like it's coming. It's being offered up to you. With that, I think that's your reading. I'm so glad that we finally got this out. I think Venus helped the situation out. Helped us get this message through. Take care, Pisces.